Welcome back to Essential Dialogues. I'm really excited for this deep dive because we are talking about something pretty groundbreaking,
Yeah,
brand new.
it is.
It's Ethiopia's first ever securities exchange.
Wow.
So this is major news for the country's economy, and it's something that I think investors around the world should definitely be paying attention to.
You're right about that. It's going to be a huge ripple effect for sure.
And it just happened too, right? Like this is
Yeah, super recent. The Ethiopian Securities Exchange, ESX for short, just received its operating license from the Ethiopian Capital Market Authority. So what this means is they can officially open their doors
Mhm.
and start facilitating trading.
So, I mean, just to kind of like bring this down to earth for people who may
Okay.
not be familiar with like how securities exchanges work, this is like
Yeah,
Ethiopia getting its own version of like the New
absolutely.
York Stock Exchange.
Yep. Think NYSE, think NASDAQ.
Right.
This is
That kind of scale.
Yeah, this is on that level.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
So one thing that I thought was interesting from the article that we read preparing for this, deep dive
Yeah.
is that the ESX, it's going to handle both organized securities markets
Right.
and over-the-counter trading, which is also known as OTC.
Yeah.
So can you break down what that means? What's the difference between those two things?
Sure. So when we talk about an organized securities market, you can think of it almost like a big department store.
Okay.
Right. Everything is organized, clearly priced, easy to find. It's very transparent. There are standardized procedures. Everything's regulated. It's very sort of straightforward.
Okay.
When you're dealing with over-the-counter trading or OTC, think of it more like a specialized boutique.
Okay.
Okay. It's about direct negotiation. It's often for very unique or niche assets. And there's a little bit less in terms of rigid rules and regulations, a
Right.
little bit more freewheeling.
So by offering both of these types of trading,
Yeah,
like it seems like the ESX is trying to appeal to a
absolutely.
wide range of both companies and investors.
That's exactly right. It broadens the opportunities for both companies who are looking to raise capital,
Hmm.
maybe issue stocks, issue bonds, but then also for investors who are looking for different types of assets.
Yeah.
They're saying, hey, come on in. We've got a little something for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing that really jumped out at me was that the ESX, it's already fully funded.
Yeah.
Like it's already surpassed its initial capital requirements.
Yeah.
What kind of signal does that send to potential investors? Because this is a brand new thing, right?
It's huge because that signals stability,
Yeah.
right? Investors, especially when you're talking about a brand new market,
Right.
want to see that there's a solid foundation.
Right.
They want to see that there's confidence.
Yeah.
So the fact that they've already exceeded their initial capital requirements really says, hey, we're here to stay.
Right.
We're serious about this. This is a long-term play for us.
So it seems.
And that's going to attract investors.
Yeah. So in terms of like the actual securities that are going to be traded on the ESX,
Right.
we know that it's going to include equities,
Yep.
stocks. It's also going to include debt instruments like bonds.
Right.
But what about that OTC platform? What are the possibilities there?
The sky's the limit, really, because with the OTC platform, you can see other financial products
Mm-hmm.
coming into play. And I think, this will also really be driven by what the Ethiopian economy needs.
Right.
As those needs evolve, you might see very specialized
Right.
products or instruments being developed to be traded on that OTC platform.
So, I mean, we keep saying this, but it's worth reiterating, right?
Yeah.
The ESX is not operating in a vacuum.
It's not. No.
Like it's part of a much bigger picture, right?
Yeah.
Like the Ethiopian Capital Market Authority has been working towards creating a more robust financial system
Yeah, absolutely.
for a while, right?
Mhm.
So how does the ESX fit into that overall strategy?
It's really the cornerstone of that strategy. I mean, when you're talking about building a strong financial system, a securities exchange is absolutely essential. I mean, it's like the
Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah.
It's the infrastructure that allows businesses to raise capital, allows individuals to invest their money, grow their wealth. It really is that key piece that everything else is built on.
Yeah. So I guess as we kind of start to wrap up this deep dive, I just want to leave everyone with this question.
Yeah.
What are the long-term implications here? I mean, Ethiopia has a young and growing population,
Yeah.
a burgeoning middle class.
Right.
The government is committed to economic reform.
Right.
So, could this become like a really attractive destination for foreign investment?
Absolutely. Because you're right, all of those factors are incredibly attractive to foreign investors. They look for places where there's potential for high growth.
Yeah.
Emerging markets, frontier markets, that's where the excitement is. And the ESX gives them a way to tap into that growth.
Yeah. And could this lead to,
Yeah.
Ethiopia developing its own unique
Yeah,
set of financial products that are
Yeah.
specifically
absolutely.
tailored
You
to?
often see that in emerging markets
Yeah.
because they have very specific needs.
Yeah.
And they need products that are designed to meet those needs. So it'll be really interesting to see what kinds of innovation comes out of this.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is obviously a story that we're going to be following
Oh, yeah.
for the foreseeable future. But I encourage everyone listening to kind of keep an eye on this as well. This is something that could have huge implications, not just for Ethiopia, but for the global economy.
Right. It's a global story.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess with that, we'll wrap things up. But as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the Essential Dialogues podcast for more deep dives into the topics that matter.
And keep an eye on Ethiopia.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time.
See you later.